and balance. So a lot of individuals have requested this class because they want to develop their lower body, which is, pretty much from our core down to our toes. So as far as the balance portion of it, we are going to include that component to it. I don't want this to just be, let's get shredded, big legs, big calves, like strong legs. We want that, but we also want to develop a long-term component of health, and that's where the balance aspect of it comes in. So kind of how, I haven't taught this class before, but I am aware of both components that we'll be going over this class. So I wanted to get a feel of you guys and see what you guys kind of wanted a little bit more of or whatnot. So how I think this class is going to be going is we're going to be doing our typical warm-up, which would be anywhere between 5 to 10 minutes. Then I think there's going to be some folks, again, this type of active adult class that Santa Ana provides to pretty much everyone in the state of California is from 18 years old and over. So again, we are going to have a younger crowd that maybe wants to do a little bit more. And then we also going to have some folks that are just here maybe to just keep that health aspect as far as balance and then just strength component. So what we're going to be doing, or how, at least how I'm going to run this class. And again, I'll be more than happy for options or suggestions from you guys. But I think we'll start off with balance first. And just kind of the balance will incorporate a little bit of warm up or easier movement. And as the class progresses, as we get into like the 40, 50-minute mark, by then we should be close to doing the strengthening movement already, which is going to be, your squats, your lunges, your calf raises, maybe some components on the floor as well. So again, everything that lower body is, remember, it's not just your quads, your hamstrings, and your glutes. It's also your calves, your ankles, your plantar muscles underneath your feet. It's going to be your adductors and abductors, inside and outside of your hips. So we're working all these components on this class. And the balance aspect is also going to be, just kind of balancing is super important in long term because it does prevent us from falling down, as easily as someone that has poor balance. So any questions so far? Maybe, hopefully, that's something that you guys are expecting of this class. And like I said, and if you guys want a little bit more balance to it than what we do today, then please let me know. So for the next session, I could find a little bit more exercises. And if it was too much balance and we want more leg stuff, then I want to hear that feedback too. So great. All right. So any questions before we start?
With this class, with help with the joints, like what it states on the class schedule?
Right. So I have 4 classes. My Monday class will be flexibility and joint mobility. And that's going to be more like a stretching range of motion. If you feel like maybe you can only lift your leg this much, my goal is going to be to maybe get you a little bit further. Or if your arm's a little bit tight, maybe a little bit longer. So that's what that class is for. This one's more for strengthening your lower body and also working on your balance. So if you feel like you might have a leg that's a little weaker than the other one, or and again, with strengthening muscles, you are going to increase some range of motion. But this is again for lower body. The Monday one is kind of like a full body stretching, foam rolling. It's more of like a therapeutic class than a workout class on Mondays. So.
What time on Monday?
On Monday, same time, 12 to 2.
Oh, okay. All right. Thank you.
12 to 2, Wednesday, 12 to 2. On Tuesdays, I have a strength and conditioning class. That will be from 9 to 11. And on Thursdays, which I have one tomorrow from 9 to 11, if you folks want to check it out, it's a cardio and core class. So we're working a lot of, we're pretty much breathing pretty heavily throughout the entire class, working on our cardio and also on our core, which is our lower back and our abdomen as well. So
okay, thank you.
All right. So what I suggest is having some water nearby, like I said, towels, yoga mat, and yeah. And sometimes I'll write out the workout, and depending on how the crowd is feeling, sometimes some movements are a little bit more than little bit more demanding than others, then we'll make some adjustments here and there. So, okay, so we'll start the warm up. So if you're a returner to one of my classes, then this is gonna look familiar. So we're gonna start just by warming up the body from our head to our toes. So we're gonna start with some neck rolls or some neck circles. So you could get up. If you're sitting down, let's get up. And then we're gonna start doing some neck circles. Let's do 5 circles clockwise. We want to make sure that our head is making contact with our shoulders, with our upper back, and then also with our chest. All right, let's switch directions, counterclockwise. And if you folks have any questions, it's probably easier if you guys just unmute yourself and speak up than going on the chat and typing something else, unless it's something a little bit that's more personal and just relates to yourself and health. So, okay, so we should loosen up that neck. So I also want, let's grab with our right hand, let's grab the back of our head, and with the weight of our arm, let's just let that head collapse a little bit forward. Feel that stretch the back of your neck. All right, let's switch it. Okay, yeah, by switching it, we're able to get the other side a little bit more. Okay, and then let's do the same with the side. So let's just pull off this side. And the switch. Since we're working, the majority of the muscle movements that we're going to be doing, our lower body will focus a little bit more on the warm up with the lower body instead of the upper body. So let's start with some hip rotations. So let's just trunk rotations. So wide stance, start rotating at the trunk. So again, we are moving our upper body, but the hinge is at the hip, which is incorporated to the lower body of this class. All right, great. So again, hula hoops. So giant hula hoops, so wider stance, and we're gonna go clockwise. Give me 10 circles, big circles clockwise. So you should feel that stretch on your hamstrings, on your groin. Let's keep it going. Give me 10 circles. Just gonna check the chat real quick. You guys keep going. All right, great. So let's go counterclockwise. All right, so I had some folks on the chat ask me to send them the videos. So if you could just leave your email address on the chat, that'd be great. It could be a direct message to me. All right, great. All right, so this is another one that I like doing. So we're gonna go up. If you have a wall or a large piece of furniture that's a little bit taller in your household, this would be a good one to kind of hold on to. So pretty much what we're gonna be doing is just holding on to this wall like I am here, and I'm just gonna swing my legs across my body. Okay, so about 10 swings on each leg. This is actually an exercise that we'll be doing afterwards without the help of the wall. All right, let's switch. Great. All right, now we're going to swing in front and behind us. Okay. This is just opening up our hamstrings. Feel a little bit tight. This might help in opening that up. All right, let's switch sides. So like I mentioned, with my classes, typically we start off a little bit easier, and as the class progresses, you know, it's usually that's when things get a little bit tougher. My tougher is just the movements just get a little bit more demanding. So, all right, great. So let's go ahead and we're gonna do the deep squat stretch. This is one of my favorites because it stretches about the entire body. So we're gonna squat down, torso up, head up. With your elbows, separate your knees. Keeping that upright. Very good. And then this is gonna work on our balance a little bit right here. We're gonna lift our heels off the ground. So heels off the ground. Stretching out our calves by doing that movement and also working on our balance. You might feel your weight shifting to the left or to the right or maybe even forward. Just make sure you don't tip over. All right, let's drop those heels. Slowly come back up. And right now we're gonna do, it's gonna be a stretch for our quadricep muscle. But it's also going to be working on our balance component a little bit. So again, so let's hold on to right above our ankle on our right leg. So right above. And I'm just, you see, I have the chair here just in case I do start tipping over, but I don't really want to depend on it so much unless I have to. But if we're lacking a little bit of balance, then I want you to maybe just put 1 or 2 fingers on it just so you feel safe. Okay, and I'm stretching that quad while I'm doing this. All right, let's switch. Again, pull back, and again, right above the ankle. You don't want to stretch by holding onto the foot, and then just slight touch on the chair. All right, great. One more, and then we could actually start our session. So this one I also do like. It is a hamstring stretch. So if you guys see my knees aren't completely locked out, they're slightly bent. So what I want to do is slightly, or slowly, I mean, is bring my palms down my shins as far as I can go. As far as you can go. Let's hold it there for about 5 to 10 seconds. All right, let's reach a little bit more. As you stretch and lengthen, that range of motion is going to increase so you can reach a little bit more. Maybe you're touching the floor now with the tip of your fingers. Hold it. Those hamstrings get warm. All right, let's bring our knees back. So now try to straighten out your legs by bringing your knees back. Feel that stretch. All right, and slowly, slowly, slowly come back up. Very slowly. Great. All right, very good. So that's typically our warm-up, and that's usually the warm-up I do like doing for all my classes. For the strength conditioning, cardio and core, we might do a little bit more, but that's what we're going to be doing for this class. So, so we'll get started. So let me just a little water break. So go ahead and get some water, folks, and then we'll start shortly. So you can see the warm-up takes about 10, 12 minutes. Okay. All right, so the first one that we're gonna do, it is a big component of balance. This one's pretty easy. It's almost like a stretch. We're gonna do our ABCs with our ankles, okay? So if you have a favorite type of font on your computer, maybe you could use that, but I just like using capital letters for my ABCs. So if you see my feet here, I would go A, the line across, and then line down and up, and then the two bubbles for B, and then for C, I make almost like a half circle, and so forth. So let's do that, the full alphabet for each ankle. So you guys go ahead and start. Some people like doing cursive because it seems quicker, but like I said, the slower and the bigger the movements, the better. Okay. And this is a good kind of stretching routine to do even before you go for a walk or before you get your day started. So again, for balance, I mean, everything starts at your feet, which connects to your body through your ankles. So we want to make sure you have very strong calf ankle tendons. So, and if you hear some popping, that's okay. That means some tendons are just rubbing against the bones, and that's sometimes what causes the sound. But if there's any pain, then let me know. And that's one thing I forgot to mention. If there's any movements that we are doing in this class that cause any pain, please let me know and we could find an alternate movement because that's the last thing I want to cause an injury in this class. So, let's see. All right. And just keeping your leg up is a little workout too. So I'm going to go ahead and do the left leg now. Yeah, that's my ankle. Sometimes my knee tends to do that too. Sometimes when it's cold, my hip does that as well. So it's normal. And if you're limited, maybe you had an ankle injury, this is the stuff that you might have done at rehab, and the stuff you should continue doing. Because that's what's gonna, we want to be proactive with their stretching. We don't want to be reactive. A lot of people just stretch and foam roll or take care of your legs when they're injured, but we always have to take care of our body, not just when we're in pain. When we get sick, everyone's always like, we have to drink more water, we have to sleep. We have to drink more water and sleep all the time, not just when you're sick. So same concept for our body when it comes to strengthening. All right, great. All right, that might take a little longer than expected, but again, now pretty sure our ankles have moved in one direction today that it hasn't moved all day. If you think about it, when we're walking around, just doing little things around the house, our ankles are just doing this, moving forward, but now we move them in every direction. So, very good. All right, so now what are we going to be doing?
Mine feel warm.
Good, good. So what that means is there's blood flow going to that area. Blood flow with fresh blood is typically coming from the heart, which is going to be a little bit warmer. So unless, just make sure there's not crazy amount of swelling or any swelling, then you should be fine. But warm means sometimes it's good. So Warm is definitely better than cold. You don't want to do a workout like this when it's cold. So, all right, so now I'm going to do the romper stance. So this is going to be starting our balance exercises. So the romper stance, pretty much what that means is we're going to stand with our feet together, okay? Our feet are together. I'm actually, if you guys are comfortable too, you could do these barefoot. So sometimes our feet are a little bit more stable than our shoes, especially if you have flat feet like me. My feet, it's like duck feet, so feel a little bit safer being flat. So this is going to be the romper stance. So we're just going to stand here, feet making contact, and we're just going to stand here for about 20 seconds. And you might find yourself like, what is this class? I'm just standing here. But if you try to focus, you'll notice that you start swaying left and right. And if you're swaying a lot, there's probably some lack of balance. All right, now we're going to close our eyes. So we're going to make it a little bit more challenging by closing our eyes, again, for 20 seconds. Now you might really notice how much you're swaying. And when you're working on preventing that swaying, you're going to be a little bit more conscious of what muscles or what direction you're a little bit weaker on, and what you should be focusing on. Okay, so from here, same stance, we're just going to be looking left to right, so slowly. Okay, so let's just turn our head to the left and to the right. Sometimes we can be a little bit more dominant on one side, not just with our throwing or riding, but also with our balance. I feel my knees shifting a little bit down when I turn to the right. Okay, now we're going to same stance, but now we're going to look up and down. Okay. All right, and then now with the towel that I asked you guys to bring, the small rag, this might feel a little uneasy for some of you folks, but what I want you guys to do is fold it maybe a few times. And then that's gonna make it a little bit unstable, and I want you to stand on it. And again, just a regular stance, but now you're doing that on top of the towel. So these items are gonna have some inconsistencies, which is gonna make you adjust your balance a little bit. Like for me, my toes and my heels are off the ground. So it's making me work a little bit more. All right, let's close our eyes now. All right, let's open them. All right, let's sit off that towel. Very good. So we're going to do similar movements to what we just did, or lack of movements that we just did. But we're going to break it up a little bit, and right now we're going to do some leg strengthening. So let's try to separate it so it's not just strictly boring and just balance. Because I'm not going to lie, the balance exercises aren't going to require too much movement. If we do too much of it at once, the class might become a little bit boring. So we'll try to break it up a little bit more. So, all right. So what we're going to be doing now. And again, these exercises, you could do them barefoot too, if you like. I do like that. Being flat-footed is not the best thing, and I happen to be flat-footed, but that also does provide me with a little bit more balance. So we'll go from there. So if you guys have, I forgot to mention this, but if you guys have like a heavy object, maybe like a gallon of water. What I like using a lot in classes or demonstrations like this, I'm here in my garage. I have a detergent container, and I just like using this for when I do squats. So right now we're gonna do 15 squats. So if you guys could find yourself, give yourself some space, we're gonna do 15 squats. So feet, shoulder up. This one's leaking. A little dirty now. I have this soda container here. So, okay, so shoulder width apart. And for the squats, I don't want you guys leaning forward. Just think about a small chair behind you and you're sitting down on it. And then back up. Okay? Ready? We're gonna do 15. Okay, go. And the slower the better. Here's some popping, that's okay. I have 4 more to go. Last one. Good. All right. And for our leg exercises, I like changing them up, not just doing squats or lunges. Those are big movements, and we'll continue to do those, but we'll do variations of them. Okay. So now our next one. So squats kind of works out our glutes significantly. Now we're going to do forward lunges. And forward lunges are going to activate our hamstrings and our quads. So kind of like the big bulk here of our thigh. So for forward lunges, we're just going to go reaching forward, coming back. So this angle. Sometimes what I like doing to do more range of motion, if you have good balance, you could drive your knee up and then go down and then bring it back up. But if our balance isn't too great, you could just kind of lunge forward too. Okay, let's just do the right leg first. Let's go 8 sets on the right leg. Ready? Here we go. And if you need the chair to hold on to for balance, more than welcome to use it. You might feel at the bottom of the lunge that balance is required. More. Right, great. I'm going to switch it up, go to the left leg. Ready? Go ahead. Here you go. More. Last one. Time. All right, if you guys felt it, I felt it on my 6-1. I kind of did this movement here. I came down, and I was here. I kind of leaned over a little bit. So again, I need to work on my balance. So the more we do it, the better we're going to get at it. Okay. Next one is for the calves. All right, we're going to do this 2 rounds, but we're trying to break it up a little bit right now. So 2 rounds. So what we're going to be doing is heel raises. So we're lifting our heels off the ground. You guys see that? I'm going to show you guys a little closer. So my heels are coming off the ground. Okay. So we're going to do 15 of these. Okay, ready? Okay, go. The slower you do these, the better. And again, if you need to hold on to a chair, go ahead. Very good. All right. There we go. All right. So I do believe that core helps out with, core is connected to everything. In our core, I mean our lower back and our abdominals. So core is gonna be, it's gonna influence our balance as well. So we'll incorporate some core here and there just to make sure that it is a little bit stable. Okay. So go with so the next one we're gonna it is gonna be similar to the balancing stretches that we did, but we're gonna separate it and just kind of, like I said, not make the class so boring. So this one's gonna be a tandem stance. So what I mean by that is the last one we had our feet together, right next to each other. This time I want you to bring your right foot in front of your left foot. Okay. And we're just gonna hold here for about 20 seconds. And we're gonna alternate and do the left in front of the right later on. So just gonna hold here for about 30 seconds. Here, continue. Just gonna check the chat real quick. Now we're going to do it with our eyes closed. So from this position, let's close our eyes. Have that chair nearby because I need to grab that chair. So again, if you don't depend on it so much, just put one finger on it. Maybe if you need a few more fingers, that's fine. But I could definitely tell the difference on this one by closing my eyes. My ankles are shaking. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, time. All right, very good. All right, I can feel the ankle on the backside burning a little bit on this backside, so something that I need to work on. All right. Now we're gonna do some squat jumps. Okay, and squat jumps are gonna again activate the glutes and the calves. So by squat jumps, if you're a little bit more advanced, what it would look like would be something like this. We're hopping. And if we're new to it, this movement here would be okay. If we just do this, if we barely leave the ground, that's fine too. But if you're a little bit more advanced, don't be afraid to jump a little bit higher, okay? We're gonna go for 12 of these. Ready? Okay, go. A lot of popping. I don't know if you guys heard that popping, but let me see if you can hear it when I'm a little bit closer. Okay, so those joints are gonna pop regardless of your age, so don't worry about it. Okay, so the next one we are gonna go down to the floor. So if you could get your yoga mat, get it ready. We're gonna be doing clamshells. So the clamshells is gonna be working on our abductors. And our abductors is when we bring our leg off to the side. Okay, so actually let me bring you to my level. That's okay. So clamshells, we're gonna be in this position here. And what we wanna be doing is make sure your ankle is right above your other ankle, knee on top of knee, hip is right above your hip. So what I mean by that, I know that sounds funny, but I don't want you guys leaning back. I want that hip right above. So everything lined up. So a clamshell, we're gonna be opening up. Ankles are connected and then closing back up. Okay, so we're gonna be doing 10 of these on each leg, okay? Better. Let's go ahead. And if it feels too easy, almost with your hand, try to push down on your leg. I know that sounds strange to do, but that's what we're aiming for. And if you folks have resistance bands, that'd be great because we could definitely use those in this class. So you could have like the long resistance bands or the ones that are like the loop that you put around your legs. I have both sets, but if we have those, we could definitely do a little bit more. So I think I found the loop ones on Amazon for about $12. Sometimes you might find them at Marshall's or at Ross for maybe $7, $8. So it's definitely worth the investment. All right, we're gonna switch. So you might feel your glute activating on that one. And I wasn't doing any equipment, just my hand. I was just pushing down on my leg and kind of lifting with my leg as well. All right, that's 6 sets. All right, same position. Ready? Okay, go. We're doing 8 of these. We'll do one more exercise after this one and we'll take a short little break. I just wanna get some feedback from you folks. Then we'll continue. Let's do 2 more. Last one. Very good. All right. Good. All right. Very good. All right, we're gonna work on our core a little bit, like I mentioned. So we're just gonna do a plank for about 15 to 20 seconds, not very long. As we get stronger, we'll hold this eventually for about a minute. So plank, I'll take you guys back. A plank, we're just gonna rest on our elbows, lift and our toes, and then we're just gonna lift our body off the ground and just hold and maintain there. Okay, you guys ready? Here you go ahead. Want to make sure you're looking down when you're doing this. If you're shaking, that's a good sign that your core is active and it's being engaged right now. So 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 3, 2, 1, and down. All right. Great. All right, guys, let's take a short little break, get some water. And I'm just gonna ask you folks a couple questions. One being, is there anyone in this class at the moment that is recovering from maybe a pretty severe injury or maybe has, you know, I guess a lack of mobility? Anyone?
Hi, it's Leah. I have, maybe you can help. I get muscle cramps, especially lower extremities, but I get them in all these weird places. And I know it's tightened because when I was doing last semester, some of the exercise classes, they got better. Mm-hmm. But I don't know if it's coming from tight hips or piriformis or glutes or sciatica or what. Are there any specific stretches or any recommendations for helping with that? I have a lot of, you know, pain with some of these exercises as well. Some of the stretches are painful, but I know because the muscles are so tight.
Right. Yeah, so as far as stretches, it's gonna vary on what exact muscle it is that is bothering you. I'll definitely go into more detail on that Monday class. But as far as you know, tightness of muscles, a lot of it is you know, tightness and lack of range of motion. But sometimes it could be dehydration, or also we're just not using that joint or muscle I guess, actively as we should, because it's one thing to, you know, constantly just do bicep curls with dumbbells, but it's another thing to naturally do movements that are going to require the same type of movement, but not as much stress, but also kind of promote that same range of motion. So I think it's just a matter of, you know, if it is like your calves or your hamstrings or your quads, then maybe going on some walks sometimes, or using that leg in a different direction than what we're used to. Like the clamshells that we just did. Like, when throughout the day do you do this movement? Probably never, but that's gonna activate your glute and the abductors. So it's gonna be those movements that might seem strange, but those are gonna be the ones that help. And if that exercise feels a little bit painful, typically I wouldn't necessarily say that your muscle is injured. It's probably just tight. And if there's a little bit of pain or discomfort, it's because your muscle is not used to moving in that position or in that direction. So the more we do it, the more it's going to loosen up. And typically, it's like they say, if you don't use it, you lose it, and that's big with our body. But as far as cramps, they still haven't figured it out if you need pickle juice, or if you need bananas, or if you need
I tried it all. I know no one. I do have a question though, because I get the pain down the front of my right leg, in the front, right along that bone on the lateral side. What is, you know, like if you're doing a driving motion with your foot on the gas or the you know, that motion right along that, yes, right in that muscle. Very horrible pain, and it's very frequent. Is there a particular muscle that I could help?
So that's
I don't know what's causing it. Even when if I walk, that gets tight, it burns, it hurts so bad just on that leg.
Right.
Is there any recommendations of like what muscle I can work on, or?
Yeah. Let's do a few exercises right now, and then on the next little break, I'll go over it, because I do treat that a lot with my runner. I just don't want to have like a 10-minute conversation and get a lot of rest.
I just want to let you know that unfortunately Santa Ana College has some classes conflicting, and I have to leave for my other class at same college at 1. So is there any way maybe I can
just email me.
I'll get the recording from you maybe?
Right, yeah. You can email me and I could go more into detail. Or even on Monday's class, I could do that.
Okay, perfect. I so appreciate that. Thank you very much.
And just a quick note, that area is typically aligned with shin splints, which is a tightness of the calf muscle.
Oh.
So that's kind of what, I know it's in the front, but we want to stretch out that calf from the back.
Oh, perfect. Thank you so much for that.
But I'll go into detail more next time. So
I didn't get your email in the chat for some reason. It didn't show up. I don't know why. It's not in my chat.
I'll put it on here for now, but and this is typically not my Santa Ana email, but this is the one. If you have any questions, you can. But I'll be reaching out to all of you folks. Just a reminder for the next class with my Santa Ana email afterwards. But if it's urgent, you could also email me at this one.
Oh, okay. No, I so appreciate it. Thank you very much.
All right, folks. So let's continue. Since we were on the last stance, which was the tandem stance, we're gonna go again back to a balance one. So again, right foot right up in front of the left one. And then now we're gonna be looking left and right. So again, I do feel the kind of the weakness going on already. So I am gonna have the chair and then left to right. And again, if you folks have questions, like Leila did just now, you know, more than welcome to ask them. And I do like answering them in front of everyone, especially if it's a common injury like shin splints. If you've ever ran, you know, if you're an avid runner, you've probably dealt with shin splints sometime in your life. Now we're going to be looking up and down. Okay, ready, begin. So I definitely don't mind answering those questions, but if it's something a little bit more specific and maybe you've never heard of anyone else have something that you're going through, then we could have maybe a more detailed conversation after class, or at a different time. But I think it's good for everyone to kind of like chime in or listen in when it's something like a common injury, especially if it's just requiring stretching and foam rolling. Okay. For the next one, it's going to be, again, like we rolled up the towel. So let's roll that towel up a little bit. And we're going to stand on top of it. So now it's uneven. So now you should really feel it. I feel it a lot on this one. Again, we're just going to stand here. I'm going to try to do it without the chair. So again, we don't want to be dependent so much. All right, great. Next time we'll do these, it's going to be alternating with our left in front of our right. So.
Leo, were you lifting your heels on that one we just did? Like
no, the towel, yeah, the towel does elevate me a little bit. Okay. So maybe it gave that impression, but no, I was just trying to kind of have an uneven surface. So even like the yoga mat, it's consistent, so I need something a little bit more uneven, but nothing too crazy either. All right, so the next one we're going to do actually, with the same little towel that we have, this is going to be for our abductors. So again, one of the movements that we're not used to or do throughout the day. So what I'm going to be doing is, if you have a carpet, the towel might get stuck on the surface. So with people with carpets at home, sometimes what I do suggest is maybe like a plastic bag, something that's gonna, slide a little bit more. Since I'm in like cement, this towel is sliding a little bit more smoothly. So what we're gonna be doing here is just from a standing position, kind of reaching out and then bringing it back in. Okay, you guys see that? I'm just sliding. My knee that's in that stance position is going forward a little bit, and then bring it back up. And it's going forward, so it could bend, so it could allow me to slide. So let's do 10 of these. The slower, the better. And if you need the chair to hold on to here on your left, go ahead and do it. It's gonna be a really clean spot on my floor right here. One more. Very good. All right. So when you're ready, you might feel that leg that was not doing much movement, feel a little bit fatigued. And that's because it's still doing work. It's stabilizing you. And then the leg that you were moving, you might feel the stretch on that inside part. All right, ready? With the left leg now, begin. We're doing 10 of these. So slide out. Three more. Okay, great. Let's rest a little bit, get some water. And then like Leia mentioned earlier, when pedaling on the gas, when you do this motion here, I don't know if you can see it, but when you're doing this here, this motion of just kind of dorsiflexing your shin, this muscle is being activated up here. So that muscle does activate when we do this movement. So maybe you could also be doing is do the same movement at a different time of the day. maybe when you're on your desk with your left foot, okay? So you could be doing that too. So that right foot doesn't become so much stronger, because that, I guarantee you, just from us pedaling on the gas, this muscle here is a lot stronger than the muscle on our left foot, unless you're driving on a silly manner, but that's usually what happens. But other than that, I would just say, you know, we do want to stretch and foam roll, okay? So now we're gonna do a single leg balance. So again, with the chair, what we're gonna be doing is just with one leg, we're gonna be, with the right leg, just kind of holding it above, and then the chair is just there for support. Again, you might feel your arches maybe wiggling underneath your feet. All right, let's bring down our foot, let it rest a little bit. And now we're going to do the same with our left leg. So let's elevate that left leg. Now that right foot is a little bit uneven. All right, very good. All right, let's go ahead and do a different movement. We're gonna do a back lunge. We did the forward lunge, now we're gonna do a back lunge. So back lunge, we're gonna be in the stance position here, athletic position, and then we're gonna lunge back and then forward. Okay, we're gonna do 10 of these on each leg. Again, some people want their hands out for better balance. I like my hands on my hip. Feel stable with that. Very good. That's 10. Let's switch it up. Now I'm going to be working on the left side. Okay, get ready. There you go. We're doing 10 of these. Very good. All right. I have to get parched fairly quickly, so don't mind if you get some water yourself. This one's going to be a little bit of cardio, a little bit more active. All we're going to be doing is little bunny hops, okay? So we're just going to be hopping off our midfoot, not so much off our toes. I want you to hop off your midfoot, okay? So your toes are almost pointing a little bit forward. So just make that attempt to do that. All right, ready? We're going to bunny hop for 20 seconds. Ready? There you go. This is going to activate our calf muscles. I'm not really coming off the ground very much. Five, four, three, two, one, time. All right. And what that bunny hop is going to do it's gonna activate and warm up the tendons underneath the bottom of our feet, okay? That's what that's doing right there. All right. What we're gonna be doing now is we're gonna do the tandem pose, but now we're gonna be bringing our left foot in front of our right foot. So now we're really gonna depend on that behind right ankle, okay? So again, if you need the chair, have it nearby, one finger, and just kind of hold it. If you're gonna test the waters a little bit, just hover your hand over that chair. Make sure you're safe. All right, let's reset. Let's just go into a safer stance. And shake the legs out a little bit because that position, even though we're not moving, just that imbalance, kind of countering each little movement that we're figuring out is activating our lower legs. Okay, let's go back to it. So left leg in front of our right, okay. Just like we did. Just get used to it for a few seconds. And let's close our eyes now, okay? 1, 2, 3, let's close them. So a lot of shaking now. Keep your hand by that chair. Going for 15 more seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Time. Very good. All right, we're gonna go down to the floor. I have some straight leg lifts for us right now.
When you close your eyes on that one, it makes it harder. You're getting off balance.
It makes it 10 times harder. Yes. Yeah, it's funny. It's one of those things that you could be the strongest person, lift the most, but as soon as those eyes close, it doesn't really matter because your imbalances. It's kind of just like, you know, how your brain is functioning. It's a little bit more mental, so it's different little practices. Because like I said, you're kind of trying to counter. You know, you sway to the left, then you want to counter to the right, and you sway back, you counter forward, and that's really something that we don't practice when we're lifting heavy or throughout the day. So it does kind of it makes us engage into our body a little bit more. So, all right. This one was going to be off the straight leg. Okay, straight leg bend. Okay, so for this one, this is going to work on our legs. So what I want you folks to do is we're just going to, so right now we're going to be doing the left leg. So my right leg is going to be bent. And I'm going to lift my left leg off the ground for about, not too high, I don't want it up here, just about maybe like 6 to 8 inches, okay? We're going to hold that for about 30 seconds. Folks ready? All right, okay, here we go. So lift. About 30 seconds, just holding it there. You should feel this part activating, maybe burning a little bit. 15 more seconds. And then when we reach the 30-second mark, we're going to do 10 pumps. And I'll show you guys what that is right now. 3, 2, 1. So pumps are going to be these here, okay? So 10 of those. Ready? Okay, go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Woo. Okay, so let me know if you felt it right here because I felt it here quite a bit right now. Okay, so now we're going to do the opposite side. So left leg is bent. Get ready. Here you go. Lift that right leg. 30 seconds. Five, four, three, two, one. Okay, 10 pumps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Relax. Okay, very good. Let's stretch out that groin by kind of doing the butterfly pose. So bringing our feet together and then just leaning back. Stretch the groins out a little bit because sometimes that does get tight. Sometimes a weak groin means a weak core too. Hold it for about 15 more seconds. And relax. All right. I'm not gonna lie, I really like. I'm enjoying this class. I tend to be, the type of individual that just likes doing really active movements. But I feel this is really necessary because, especially like you mentioned, Maura, with the ice pose, I just found out right now that I really need to work on that. So I'm glad this class is being offered. So and I'm teaching it too, which is great. So let me see. Okay, so we're gonna finish the tandem poses. So we've done two of them. So what we're gonna be doing is, again, left foot in front of our right foot. Then say this is your face. Then we're gonna be turning left and right, okay? Ready? Here you go. So turn each way 10 times. Halfway there. Three more. Last one. Very good. All right, now we're going to be lifting up and down. Okay. 1 second. Find your position. Okay. That's ready. So left foot in front of the right. And then let's lift up and down. We're going to do 8 lifts up and 8 lifts down. Two more. Last one. Good. All right, we're going to be doing the folding method. So let's fold that little rag to maybe make it a little bit uneven for us. And let's put, if it's large enough to put both feet on it, great. Mine is just pretty much big enough for one foot, so I'm gonna split it up for both sides. So let's just stand here. So let's do 20 seconds with our eyes open, and then we'll do the last 10 seconds with our eyes closed. Go ahead. If you're comfortable, you can lift your hands away. I'm gonna hold on to the chair a little bit and let's close our eyes for 10 seconds. Ready? Ready to close them? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, time. Good job. All right. One more exercises, and we should be coming down fairly soon. Okay. So. Okay, so we have, I believe, 3 more exercises. So last one we have is with the assistance of your chair. What I want you folks to do is very lightly just tap on it just for support. And what I want you folks to do is that right leg, we're gonna bring out to the side and slowly bring it back. Okay, slide. We're gonna do 12 of these. Now I want you to just collapse your leg. I want you to slowly take it up and then slowly back down. You should feel that burn here. It's a little bit like the clamshell, but this is more of like a swing, while like the clamshell feels more like a push. So 2 more. Very good. All right, let's switch. Okay. Let's get 12 of these. Eight. Last one. Very good. All right. I believe we're gonna do 1 more. And this one's more of like a core and balance too. Okay. So for this one, it could be a little bit challenging. If it's too challenging, I'll show you guys the alternate. So pretty much what I want you guys to do, if you're able to see, I'm on my 4s here. I'm gonna bring my right leg back and at the same time, my left arm forward and straighten out and hold that as much as I can for about 3 seconds. And then bring it back and then switch. Left leg back, right arm forward, about 3 seconds, and then back. So I do like this one because it does promote a little bit of balance towards the upper body, which might be something we're not used to. Okay, and it does strengthen the arms a little bit and the core. And it's pretty much a full body one. So we're gonna do 5 on each leg, but we're gonna try to hold for about 3 seconds for each time we do that, okay? Ready? Okay, so right leg back, left leg forward. And if that's too hard, I want you just to do maybe the leg part, okay? Since we're working on the lower body. Okay, so doing 5 of these, 3 seconds hold. 1, 2, 3, back. 1, 2, 3, back. 2 more. Switch. Okay. Yeah. Here you go. So now left leg back, right leg forward. 1, 2, 3, back. Again. Last one. Let's do 5 seconds. 3, 2, 1, and back. Very good. All right. I don't think I missed anything that I wanted to do with you folks today. I think we covered it all. Now we're just going to cool down. And the cool downs usually takes about 5 to 10 minutes. And this is the time usually when I do recommend if you have any questions, kind of speak your voice. And yeah, I'll be more than happy to answer anything right now. So.
Yeah, on the last exercise, I felt like a little stretch behind my knee. You know,
Okay.
like it.
Yes.
Is that normal, or do I need to not stretch it so much?
Did it feel like a pull? I mean, I felt the stretch too, but was
Yeah.
it painful?
Well, it was starting just a little,
Okay.
but I just pulled back.
Yeah, so that's what I would say is just try not to, some of us might be a little bit more flexible than others. So if you're not able to lengthen completely, it's probably because your muscle's not used to that motion yet. So I would just kind of, where your muscle's telling you to stop and just kind of agree with it. And then, you know, as we do it a little bit more, it'll continue to stretch, especially in this class since we're going to be working out with the hamstrings a little bit more. So.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Yeah, so we'll start with the cool down. So, Janet, how was it? I see your new face. I haven't seen you before.
Oh, yeah, it's well, since the COVID, I was going to the gym before and I was able to do the exercises, but since then, you know, everything shut down. And now that I'm getting back, you know, online here at home, I'm not, I need to get back to where I was.
Right.
When I went to the gym, because I feel so tight right now.
Okay, yeah, we'll get on it. And we'll do a cool down stretch right now. So right now, just to begin, so those of you guys that are watching the recording, as soon as we're done recording or stretching, then I'll turn it off, the recording. And then if you folks that are here live right now have any more questions, then, you know, I'd love for you guys to ask. So this is a reset position to cool down. So our first one we're going to be doing is bringing that left heel in. And then this right leg, we're going to bring back. And essentially what we're doing is bringing our chest towards our knee across. And you should feel that stretch kind of in that groin area, maybe even on that left glute too. So I think Janet, Linda, Trisha, Gloria, Lydia, and Debbie, Mora, of course. I think you guys are new, right? Maybe you guys came last semester, but I just recognize Susan, Josefina, Maria, Alex, Anna. I know you guys were with me last semester. Thanks again for doing it.
No, I'm new. More Amora, and I'm new.
Okay, great. Janet just left. Hopefully I didn't scare her. Let's switch. So again, now I'm going to bring that right heel in, left leg back. Josefina, how was it?
I love it. I need to go back.
Good, I'm glad to kind of see you again.
Yes. And I all the girls.
Good, I'm glad. Thanks for coming back.
Let's see how long. I work at school.
Okay.
So they didn't start it, so I had to wait.
Oh, no worries. All right, so now we're gonna do let's go back to the reset position. We're gonna bring the right leg across and over that left leg. And then I'm gonna bring my left elbow over my right knee. So I'm kind of pushing away, and that push is making me feel a stretch. So. Debbie, how was the class? What do you think so far?
It went good today, not too difficult.
All right, great, I'm glad.
I survived.
What about you, Patricia?
Oh, very good, thank you. Gosh, I'm so stiff.
No worries. Yeah, I think I found out I have really poor balance today. So let's switch. And then Gloria. Are you still there, Gloria? Lydia, are we there? Linda.
Sorry.
Oh, Gloria's here.
She ran to the restroom real quick, sorry.
No worries.
Lydia's here, doing good.
All right, you're doing good, Lydia?
Yes, thank you.
All right, and Linda? All right, so now we're gonna do the figure four. So we're gonna bring that left heel in, keeping that right leg forward. And then with this hind arm, we're gonna bring leaning over our body so we can stretch not just our legs, but also our ribs. And Susan, how are you? Yeah, Susan, I had a lot of our classes last semester. How are you, Susan?
It's good.
Good. Relax. All right, let's switch. And Alex, how are you? Just putting that right leg.
I'm definitely feeling the stretches.
Good, I'm glad. Then Anna, are you there? Anna fell asleep. That's my older sister. All right, so now we're gonna bring, oh, she's there working out. So let's bring both our heels in and kind of push down with our arms down. So. And then I know the movement, Maria, Josefina, Susan, Alex, Anna, I know you folks have been on my other classes. I know these movements were a little bit easier, or not so demanding, I would say. I wouldn't say easier, but not so demanding. How would you guys compare these to the other classes to let the other folks know? You got some shy people. Yeah. So I think, you know, personally, the difference that, you know, myself, like we said, Debbie and Patricia, you know, I think, yeah, definitely felt like I'm tighter in some areas that I had no idea about. And then also the lack of balance, that for sure is something that I need to work on. Let's cross now, our legs, we're gonna cross. And then kind of lean forward. Were there any movements or exercises that caused pain or you guys didn't like at all?
I still have her on my left side, but I want to continue moving.
Good.
Not lose it.
Yeah, exactly. So you guys might feel the stretch on the outside glutes, just in case you weren't feeling anything.
Yeah.
And then we're gonna do similar to the first stretch. So left heel in, right leg back. But now instead of leaning forward, we're gonna lean back. And we're gonna feel that stretch in our quad muscle right here. And I want to say about 99% of my students in these classes are on you wonderful ladies. You know, it's the guys that are never show up. They probably think they're super strong and have great balance, and yeah, they probably need to be in this class too. So. All right, let's switch.
I know you remember, Julio, that I told you to my husband, said, it's too easy. I don't want to do it.
Tell your husband to stand on one foot and close his eyes.
Yeah, now I was thinking that to do that.
Yeah. Okay, we have our last one, and we're going to stretch out our hamstrings. So we're gonna be in this position, almost like a crab walk position, but I'm gonna bring my right foot over my left knee. And then there's a gap right here between my glute and my hips and the floor. So it's elevated and I'm bringing my chest towards that knee. So I'm really feeling that stretch in this hamstring area.
I feel awkward on this position.
Yeah, it's a little different for sure. All right, let's switch. So this one, you definitely feel it if you have that knee close to your chest. If it's far away from you, like if you're here in this position, you're probably not gonna feel it, but you have to be almost close to it. All right, and that's about it. It's 125. So the class, you know, we probably spend about 5 to 10 minutes talking about what the class might look like. So this class, you know, will probably go about an hour, hour 25 most of the time. I tried researching a lot on balancing exercises. There's not a huge encyclopedia of that compared to other strengthening exercises for the rest of your body. But we'll work with what we can. And yeah, like I said, this class is lower body strengthening and balance. Tomorrow at 9 a.m. if you guys can join me, that's going to be cardio and core. So we're going to be jumping around, a little bit more movement, getting our heart rate up, and then working on our abdomen. And it's not like we just do sit-ups for an hour. We do a variation of movements for our back, for our core. So that's tomorrow at 9, and that should run to about maybe like 10:30, maybe 10:40. So yeah, so that will be our class for tomorrow. Any questions regarding today's class? No?
No, thank you, Julio. See you tomorrow.
All right, folks. Thanks again for joining for the new faces. Thank you. Glad you guys joined and hope to see you guys you know, in the next coming classes. So
Okay.
have a good day. Take it easy.
You too, Julio.
Thank you. Goodbye.
All right, guys. Bye-bye.